Hey, friend. Hey, sister. We have a message and a mission to share. So, this is what today's episode's about. It's your new era, and it's your new era. It's my new era. It's all around new era. So, what's it all about? And it's been this thought that has just been coming up over and over these last few months. It's like there's something missing for me, and it just realizing it is bringing more of me into what I'm doing. And maybe that is what's missing for you too. And so often we are, if you've been trying to do this entrepreneurial thing for even a minute, you've come across all the proper ways, or this is how you do it. These are the strategies. You're gonna write a YouTube video, and it's gonna be like, the title is going to be an SEO title that's the answer to the question that they're writing in Google, and then you're going to have like your 5 points, 5 bullet points, and etc. etc. And then you have to think about like the offer that's going to, and then what's like the customer journey. And then you're just like, oh, you just get, it's just that way of working. It works for some people. It's just like it can just get tiring and draining. And really, then you just find yourself not really sharing what you actually want to share. And there's that message you've got, and you've been like keeping a part of it back because you're just like, how does it fit in this like 5 bullet point system of this world of marketing and business and life? And if that is like been a bit of you, then this message is for you. And this message is for you as much as I'm like making a message for myself. And it's like that just being like just a deeper yearning for you, like to share. You're like, you wake up and then you think of something you want to talk about, you want to share, and then you just like hold back because you're a bit like, I don't know where that fits in all this whole business marketing journey, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Where does that fit in a niche? Like, oh, I'm teaching people how to make planners. Where does it fit to talk about? I don't know, that I think dinosaurs were dragons because, like, I think dragons were real and I think they were just dinosaurs. And like weird stuff like that. You're just like, where does that fit? Like, am I going to make a post on Instagram going, I believe in dragons? Like, and I'm trying to, I'm talking about people sharing a message and making planners, making journals, using their creative gifts, making patterns and putting them on their planners. Like, I've got behind, creating your dream live. And it's just like, how does that fit into it all? And you just feel like, oh, I don't know if it doesn't, so I'm not going to talk about it. And then you just find yourself like holding back and yeah, and just like not fully being you and showing up as you. So this is like what this episode's about. And what I'm going to be doing is be making more episodes where I'm just talking off the cuff. I think too much. It's like, yeah, we've been putting our thoughts through like a filter and trying to turn it into something. And it's like, what if we can just share our thoughts? What if our thoughts was like enough, and that was enough. It was good enough. That was what people needed, just to hear us ramble from the heart. So, and I'm calling them like heart rambles. I don't even know what I'm gonna call them. Heart rambles, dear sister messages. I don't know, but yes, this is what I've been feeling like. It's been coming up. I feel like it's been coming up for like a couple years, but just more strongly this like last year and a half, like that feeling like you're just suffocated in a container that you're trying to fit into that maybe like the world's put you in, business or has put you in, and yeah, it's time to like break the break the box open and catch your breath again, catch your breath, get some breath in your lungs, and just be like, here I am, here's the message. Whoever's it's supposed to reach, it will reach, and those who it's not for, they'll fall away in love, and that's fine too. So, yeah, this is your new era. So, what is it that is in your heart to be sharing? What is it that you wake up and you're thinking about that topic? You're thinking about that thing. You go on Instagram, social media, news, and you see people's, I don't know, thoughts and feelings about it, how they see it, and then you're like, oh, is there something wrong with me? Because I don't see it that way. I kind of see it differently from the mainstream or from like most people, and then you just get a bit, it's like, Oh, I don't want to like share that because I don't see that the same way. And it's like I must be like the weird one who's kind of broken because I see it completely differently. And then you don't share it. And it's like, what if like that is what the world needs? It needs our um weird perspectives or alternative perspectives, just like a new way of seeing it and a different way of seeing it. And what if like there was like actually a whole load of us, loads of us who actually see things that way, but we're not saying it. So then the loud dominant voices are the ones that get seen. And actually, that is not how most people think. But because whoever shouts loudest, it seems like whoever can shout the loudest is who we see out there, and getting the spotlight on them. And then we end up thinking like, oh, everyone thinks like that. And actually, maybe there's loads of us that's just sitting in our houses thinking, oh, I see this in a really different way, and I wonder why. And why do we see things differently? Because of our life experiences and because of our lived experiences. And actually, that is so important because we're all different. And even when you have two people who see things similarly, like on the outside, like, okay, we both think that this is like a better way to do something. When you look at the journey of how they got to that point of just thinking that's what they believe, they can come from two different, completely different backgrounds. And just to hear the journey of like, this is what I experienced in my life. This is like this hard time I went through. This is like, I don't know, the hurt I experienced and how I've been healing through it, which has led me to see the world this way. And another person coming from it with like a completely different worldview, with sorry, completely different lived experience, and then also coming to like a similar conclusion. It's so interesting, and I think it's so helpful, and you can see yourself in other people's stories. And even when you don't agree with where they've ended up or like the conclusion they've reached, you're like, okay, yeah, I can see why they think that because they experienced that and these led them to create this filter and they're perceiving life through that way. And it's not like someone's right, this is wrong. That's just like what they went through. That's what they've experienced, and that's led them to seeing things how they see things. So they might see things that way because there's still healing that needs to happen. And they might see things in a different way because they have healed through that. They've worked through that situation, that issue, and they have like yeah, they've healed it, and now they see things in a whole new way. And like, what would it be like to just to be sharing like what we've experienced and what we've learned along the way, um, what we're still learning, because it's not like someone arrives and it's like, hey, like nothing bothers me, nothing triggers me. I'm fully healed. Anyone could say anything and I won't, it won't bother me in any kind of shape, way, or form. And, very few people, I don't think anyone's reached that point. So even when it's like I'm on the journey with this, just to hear someone's journey can be really powerful. So if that's been you, where you've just been like, how does this fit in? I don't know where this goes. I just do a bit of an experiment. Just start sharing it, start writing it down, just write it down somewhere and then decide where to share it. Just click record on your phone and just speak to the camera. Record it, record a voice note, upload it, hit record on Instagram, just go live and share from the heart, whatever, the thing that is that it's in you that you like. I really feel like this is something for someone to hear. And I don't know what happens with that message afterwards, but I'm like asking the question, is it even for us to wonder what happens afterwards? Is it even our place to be like, I need to know the outcome of me sharing this message? Or is it like we have to share this message because there's like something in us? Like for me, I'm like God, because I feel like God has put this message in me, or like this message is in me because I've come from this kind of background and it's made me see things differently and I need to share it. And the only thing that I need to do is share the message. And then the outcome of how someone responds to it is not my responsibility. If they like it and it encourages them, that's not even my responsibility. If they hate it, that's not my responsibility. But what if like my only job is to share the message? What if that is our only job is to be the person who shares the message in our heart? And what if that could be enough and that would be good enough? How would our life look and how would we feel? Like there would be more of a sense of like fulfillment, I think, where it's like, okay, I don't know what happens after I share this, but I've done the part that I feel like I'm supposed to do. And that is how I want to approach um like what I'm doing. I sometimes don't even like to call it business because like business just feels like there's this outcome of expecting sales and profits and all of that. And I don't know what I want to call it. Calling can also feel a bit like scary because it can feel a bit like okay, I'm talking about making a planner one week. Yeah. So like someone's calling to like teach me how to make planners. But I don't know where it falls, but it's almost like just like a calling, a heart pull. There's like a inner pull, like this is the work that I'm here to do. Um, some people call it like a purpose, but yeah, I feel like that is going to be a really important part of me stepping more into my purpose this next year, and that's going to look like jumping on Instagram Live and just sharing something that just seems unrelated to um well it starts with the dream is like my main message, that it's about having a dream for your life and creating a new vision that fits you where you're at with what's going on in your life, that it takes into account your highest priorities, your values. It's a life where you get to share these God-given gifts of singing, if it's designing, poetry, a gift for maths, a gift for analyzing spreadsheets, like whatever it is, and then the skills that we have acquired that are useful and people want to know about, and our story, sharing our voice. So like that to me is all what's encompassed in It Starts with the Dream. But some of it might not seem so obviously clear, like how that's related, but I'm gonna be sharing it. It is gonna look like long form newsletters, because like I think I'm a long form person, and then again trying to squeeze yourself into like tiny captions on Instagram, it just doesn't cut it, I think. um if you're a long form type of person, and just again putting yourself in this box where you're like squeezed in trying to like share a message in however many characters in an Instagram caption, where if you were talking about it, you talk about it for like an hour. I'm gonna be looking at just writing, writing and getting a Google Doc up and just writing, and then seeing where that goes. If I put that in a new Substack, if that goes in a newsletter, and letting it be what it is, and being okay with people falling away. People be like, okay, I don't want to read like long emails a couple of times a week or whatever. And that being okay and just accepting like that is what it is. Because if you don't share what you feel like you're supposed to be sharing in the way you feel like you're supposed to be sharing, I think it just gets so tiring. Like I feel like kind of tired and drained by trying to, even though I keep sort of like moving forward and just being more free and just being like, okay, sharing more of me. This is what I want to make. I'm gonna just make this course regardless if anyone even said they wanted it. I think there's still a sense of like still being in kind of a box. The box is slightly bigger now, but it's still a box. And that's like where I'm at, where I'm just like, okay, there's going to be just more things being shared, talking about just life, race, culture, like not, yeah, just like through more of a personal perspective, if that makes sense. Not like an academic perspective, but just like this is what I experience, this is why I see the things this way. Um, and my faith is gonna like be part of that, because it's just getting more harder and tiring to like try and talk about design and dream without talking about designing it with God, because like that is how I design my dreams. Like that's where I feel like they come from. I feel like God puts them in my heart. So there's gonna be more of that. And even though I don't feel like I'm supposed to make like a faith-based course or anything like that, um it's just going to be something like if something how if some sorry if that somehow relates to something I've experienced that's like to do with God, like I'm just going to share it. I'm going to say, here's like a neuroscience way of doing this, and here's like a way of doing the same thing with God. So like renewing your mind. The neuroscience way would be like positive affirmations and looking for evidence. So like looking for positive evidence that you can create a new belief and like then looking for evidence to support that belief. The faith-based way of that is like renewing your mind in God's word. So looking at the Bible and finding a verse that speaks to that and like speaking it out, declaring it. So that's how it's going to look like. And if that's not for you, then I love you and I hope you find some other like people to follow, get encouraged from that align better to how you see things. And if you want to stay, even though you have different beliefs, and I'm like, you're so welcome here. So yeah, it is our new era. So this is recorded like late November 24. So in my head, I'm like thinking like this time next year, what I would like to have seen differently, um, what I think could be different. And if the only thing that happens is that I better share the message, how I hear it, how I receive it in the way that I feel like I should share it. If that is the only thing that happens in 2025 and sales don't go up, cool. I don't know, I don't make more courses, don't get more coaching clients, then I think that's actually enough because it's always about us as a person and those external outcomes, like we will want them, but there's internal things that need to happen and we can have all those external things, but if we're not doing those things that we feel inside, I think it still comes with a sense of like emptiness or not quite hitting the mark, not quite ticking the box, not quite feeling like this is where I'm at, this is where I'm supposed to be, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So there is the first it might be the second heart-led ramble. I did have one in a newsletter recently, but yeah, that's a bit about where I'm at. And if that sounds like what you're about, then come and join me as we enter our new era.